So, yeah, Tara, if you ever find yourself on the East Coast, come and visit us in Raleigh. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Good morning. We're going to get started in just another minute or so.
Okay, so it's 10:30, so let's get started. If you like, if you haven't prostrated to the altar, then you're welcome to do it with me. If not, you're welcome to just stay where you are. So let's say some prayers in the Gold Prayer Book, as usual, starting with the Shakyamuni Buddhist mantra at the red tab, page 34. Te ata o mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata o mune mune maha munaye soha. Te ata o mune mune maha munaye soha. And then the Medicine Buddha verse of praise and mantra, also on page 34. Bhagawan with equal compassion for all, whose name when merely heard dispels the suffering of the lower realms, dispel of disease and the three poisons, I prostrate to Medicine Buddha, lapis like. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, Maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Te ata om bekanze, bekanze, maha bekanze, bekanze, raja samugate soha. Sorry, I didn't share. Screen. There, okay. All right. Okay, now the four measurables. Also on page 34, 3 times in English. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be from and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. Okay, now the verse of praise and mantra for Chenrezig page 37. So there, I understand the verse of praise is not in the book. So only the mantra, not veiled by any fault, white in color, whose head a perfect Buddha crowns in light, gazing compassion at all beings. To you, Chen Reizik, all seeing one, I prostrate. So if you don't know who Chen Reizik is, there's a picture of him right over there on the altar. He has 1,000 arms. Let's see that one. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And then Tara, verse of praise and mantra. And here there's Mother Tara and the 21 Taras around her. So I'll just read the verse of praise, which is not in your book. Tare liberates from cyclic existence. Tutare liberates from the 8 fears. Ture liberates from all sickness. I prostrate to the liberator, Mother Tara. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Okay, now the refuge and bodhicitta prayer is on page 34. Say that 3 times. English. But before we do take refuge, let's just visualize the merit field and the refuge field, the Shakyamuni Buddha in the center. And on his right is the profound lineage, left method lineage, and then Vajradhara and the lineage of best practice behind him. And below the deities of 4 classes of highest yoga tantra and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And as we say this refuge and bodhicitta prayer 3 times, just imagine that you are the Umse. You're the chant master. And also in front of you are all your enemies, different spirits. On your right is your father, even if he has passed away, your father of this life, representing all the male sentient beings in the universe. And then to your left is your mother in your life, in this life, representing all female sentient beings. And then behind you is your circle of loved ones and friends. Okay, so just think that you're leading them in this refuge and bodhicitta prayer. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create the listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create the listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Now imagine or visualize 5-color nectar coming from the refuge field through your crown into your 5 places, purifying all the faults produced in relation to them and all their blessings entering your mind stream. And now we're going to say the refuge prayer again, the resultant refuge. Just say it just one time, or you can just listen. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Now imagine a replica of your Lhama, your root guru, and the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha on your crown. And as soon as it touches your crown, it dissolves into you, and you attain full, complete, irreversible enlightenment. And at the next fraction of a nanosecond, you send out an inexhaustible number of replicas of your root guru in the aspect Shakyamuni Buddha, in the place on the crowns of every sentient being in the desire realm, form realm, formless realm, bardos, all spirits, hell realm beings, hungry ghost realm beings, animal realm beings, human realm, demigods, celestial realm, bardo, all of them. And as soon as it touches their crown, instantly they attain full and complete, irreversible, great enlightenment. And now rejoice. Rejoice because of your bodhicitta intention. You will have access to that merit for a long, long time. And this is part of the Guru Yoga practice that Geshe-la taught the nuns a few years ago. Now, I'm assuming there are no children. Are there? Okay, so the children are welcome to go to their classrooms now. Okay. So today, I'm sorry, Geshe-la's not teaching, sorry. But he'll be here in spirit because we're going to continue the review of Geshe-la's teachings. You know, I don't have, I'm not, introducing anything new that I thought of like last night. So again, like last time, you shared all your wisdom, and I hope you continue to do that today, okay, so first, let's do a meditation to settle our mind. You can focus on your in and out breaths, and it's just to bring your mind to a neutral state, and I forgot to bring my bell. So, yeah, that would be good. Okay, thanks. Okay, so as Linda's looking for that, just close your eyes, relax, get into a meditation posture. Keep your back straight. You can have your eyes half closed. You might notice all the tension spots in your body. Just relax those spots. So exhale and inhale, count 1. So you start with an exhale. Exhale, inhale, count 2. And just continue like that. Okay, so the first meditation that I'm going to lead and also involves our first group discussion is on the four measurables. So when we chant it, we start with may all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. But when you meditate on it, you start with equanimity. Because unless you have equanimity, you can't wish everybody happiness or, to remove the causes of suffering and so forth. So I'm just going to read the four measurables, the long version, and then I'm just going to repeat what Geshe has said about each of these points. So the first one is equanimity. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from hatred and attachment, not holding some close and others distant. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Visualize everyone in your family, at work, at the store, on the road, everyone in the entire world practicing equanimity. No rivalry, quarrels, wars, or egos. People letting others go first in line, saying something kind, listening with an open mind and heart, volunteering, living in harmony. Countries and nations at peace, not at war. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness in the cause of happiness. May they have happiness in its causes. I myself will cause them to have happiness in its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Visualize yourself, your family, your community, everyone experiencing happiness. Not just on special occasions, but all the time. Now, this is something that I thought of, so it's not Geshe-la. So visualize a ring of positive white energy surrounding your body. It pulsates loving kindness in all directions, through you and around you. Rings of this white energy grow larger, more powerful, and expand from your body and encircles everyone in this room. Then it generates even greater, unrelenting, unstoppable power and surrounds the entire city, the entire Western Hemisphere, the Earth, and continues to send waves of positive energy over and over until all beings are imbued with genuine, long-lasting happiness. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they be free from suffering and its causes. I myself will cause them to be free from suffering and its causes. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Again, that ring of positive white energy of compassion glows around you. It grows in power and radiates out to all who are sick, old, injured, dying, hungry, thirsty, poor, tormented, all over the world. Imagine they heal, become strong and healthy. Whatever they need or desire is placed close beside them. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were never separated from the happiness of higher rebirth and liberation. May they never be separated from these. I myself will cause them never to be separated from these. Please, Guru Deity, bless me to be able to do this. Visualize that as beings transition from this life to the next, they attain a higher rebirth as a human with leisure and opportunity and make great advances toward their liberation from the oceans of problems, complications, pain, and suffering of samsara. Okay, now you can relax, open your eyes, and bring your attention back to the Kadampa. So why do we say, may all sentient beings have happiness? Been fighting since beginningless time. So Geshe-la quotes this stanza from the Guru Puja many times, LC 90. There is no difference between myself and others. None of us wishes for even the slightest of sufferings or is ever content with the happiness we have. When you look at the four measurables, no one is excluded. It is the most powerful positive mindset that you can develop to benefit all. And it's very difficult to develop. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings had happiness in the causes of happiness. That understanding is important for our peace of mind, for our mental happiness, for our partner, our community, country. Everyone benefits. Okay, so now we go to our first group discussion, and it's on the four measurables. Okay, assuming that you agree that everyone deserves to be happiness and you want to give them happiness, assuming that that's valid to you, how can we develop equanimity, accepting all living beings, tolerating our secondary differences, such as different opinions, political parties, races, ideologies, customs, ways of thinking and doing things? So that's the first one. How do we develop equanimity? And the second point is think of examples of how to implement the four measurables at home, at work, and in public places. In other words, how do we implement? What can we do in our neighborhood, in our community to foster this thought? How and where can we start? So this is a year of compassion because it's the 90th year of His Holiness's, birthday, so age, whatever. So that's why I think it's important to know to take steps this year to implement this. Okay, so please form into small groups and brainstorm ideas. Make sure everyone has a chance to say something. And please plan to share your wisdom with everyone else in the group, Kadampa. And then also, after you break into groups, look around, make sure no one is just sitting there alone. And please invite them to join the group. Yeah, thanks.
And folks on Zoom, I'm going to create a breakout room for you to join so you can chat with each other. So do you want a
This is a 5-minute warning.
5-minute warning, everyone? 5 minutes. Okay. 1 more minute, everyone. 1 more minute. 60 seconds. Okay, everyone, if you can wrap up your conversations and designate a person to share out with the groups. And if you are on Zoom, hopefully you did that as well and have someone to share out. So go ahead and wrap up in the next 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, y'all are good. Awesome.
You can stay where you can stay with your group
You can-
because we have more.
Yeah, stay with your group. Stay with your group.
Just sit with your group. Okay, everybody. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So let's start. Shall we start? We're going to go around the room like this. Okay. So we'll start with you and then we'll end with your group. So first, a synopsis.
So a synopsis. First, we started with political figures of wishing for their happiness, for not just for them, but also for a better world. If that person can rid themselves of their delusion, if they can have their own happiness, then that will, they're in such a place of power that can benefit all other beings. Wishing for this person's happiness and for everyone else's happiness that they affect, and wishing for them to have a less deluded mind. We had also mentioned seeing others suffering and wishing for them to be free from their suffering. So there's the idea of othering, that we all have these differences, but getting rid of that othering and finding the similarities of people. And then you can, you know, do just a straight up equanimity practice. So, thinking of somebody that you love and how it's easy for you to generate compassion for that person, then focusing on a stranger and, directing that same compassion to them, and then focusing on somebody that's really difficult to generate compassion towards, and sending that same energy for the person that you love to the person that maybe you don't love. And then thinking about how can we shift our perspective on things. So, pain is given, but suffering is optional. So everybody wants to be free from suffering, and recognizing the impermanence of this existence, and that the suffering of others is also impermanent, that you might be going through a hard time right now, but you're burning off your negative karma. The suffering that you're experiencing, even if it goes on in this body is impermanent, and it will inevitably end in the next life. Developing neutral feelings towards people, removing, again, the otherness from the mind. And then Linda had also mentioned just generating such a sense of generosity, or not generosity. Yeah, gratitude, that, we have so much here to be grateful for, that we're incredibly spoiled and we don't even realize it. And how can we use everything that we have here to help those? And then, yeah, how do we implement it? Being mindful of the information that you're taking in. How is it affecting your mind? How is it affecting how you treat others, and analyzing that? You know, being aware just of suffering. How are you going about your day? Are you noticing other people suffering, or are you not thinking about it so much? Being a role model, so like recognizing how do you react to things, and if you're in a situation where you have the option to react to something differently, how can that be an example for other people? So maybe your brother is like, oh, I really don't like this person, but you're like, well, but how can you recognize that that person is also suffering? Or how can you yourself, sort of show by example and provide other ways of reacting to things? If you yourself are having a really difficult day, but you look at it from a place of equanimity, that's going to be an example to all other beings. And then recognizing the emptiness of maybe why we judge people. And we mentioned like tribalism, ego's coming up and it's a survival instinct, but does it need to be there? How does it affect your day-to-day existence?
Wonderful. Thank you. That's great. Okay, now that group over there.
I was just gonna say ditto. We just had the same. I think the only thing that they said, well, they said a lot of great stuff. But we were just sometimes saying if we have people that are difficult, that are constantly giving us negative energy, you can still just kind of love them from a distance and just kind of not necessarily have them to come into your your home, your environment, but you can still send love and positivity toward them because a lot of times they're hurting and wounded and we don't realize what kind of negative things they're dealing with or upbringing. Is there anything else? Oh, and boundary. Setting boundaries for people.
Yeah.
That-
That's great that you just added to the discussion. Okay. Next group, anything to add?
Ditto. Really, I mean, I was listening to him, which made me forget what I was supposed to say about what we talked about. And then she said ditto, and then what you said was pretty much what we talked about, the idea of, being in situations where there's negative energy, whether it's somebody flying around you in a car or somebody, cutting ahead of you, whether getting off an airplane or in the supermarket. And you just you gotta find that space, that kind of like a pillow of pulling back and softening and finding the patience, first of all, that virtue of putting on the mind of Dharma or putting on the mind of Buddha, or God forbid, when I was younger, I would have said putting on the mind of Christ, which, I don't ascribe to that, although I think it's the same thing when you say the teachings of loving kindness, of thinking of others first, of giving somebody a break when you're tempted to get drawn into what did you say to me, or why you in my space, or and then you're being an a-hole, and like I can be one too. So I mean, why would you want to? I mean, and the other thing we mentioned, somebody said, who wants to wake up in the morning and be unhappy? Who wakes up and first thing is, I'm gonna be my grumpy, miserable old, well, give me a few minutes, I will. No, but we don't. We really wish to be happy unless there's really something already wrong, and that's not normal. But for a sentient being of the human variety, I think, we wish to be happy. We wish to avoid suffering. It's pretty, the echo of His Holiness's teaching. Did I cover too much or not enough or what? I just blathered, excuse me.
Thank you very much.
Geez. So, okay, everything was said so far, and you guys also added the fact that everybody wants to be happy, right? That was one of the biggest ideas and discussions that we had. Obviously, no one wakes up to be grumpy, right? Or that wants to be grumpy. We also added the fact that the way we grow up in a certain environment where we have certain values, right? Now, maybe other people have other kind of values. So who are we to judge them, right? What's great for them might not be as great for us. So because we have different values, we just have to find that balance and be completely non-judgmental. And I think that's the hardest thing to do, because anything can create that imbalance, and finding that balance is what's probably the most challenging. Just to add to whatever the rest of the groups also discussed. Anything else I missed?
Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, one more thing. We discussed this as well. We need some kind of suffering, apparently, to have or to understand the values, right? Because without knowing what's bad, how do we know what's good? How can we, if we have like a pink room and everybody likes pink, then after a while it's going to become boring. So we need we need that we need to learn from our mistakes, from others' mistakes, without judging them, and just take that into our our life and find that balance moving forward or moving on.
Thank you. Wonderful.
In this group, we just talked about what Christmas presents we're going to give everyone. So we started with talking about the fact that not all people have awareness and the tools to deal with stress. And we talked about very pragmatic examples such as politics and what's happening in the world with wars and how people get so affected by news and how do we react to news. And one point that I really loved was the fact that you can just remove yourself. So it's easy to get involved, but it's sometimes even more difficult than we think to actually leave a conversation, leave a friendship, leave some sort of negativity in the office because we're in there and we feel like we might want to contribute with whatever, but it's not benefiting us. So just leave on a very pragmatical level. Mel Robbins, I don't know if you guys know Mel Robbins. She's very famous. She has this podcast and she just published a book and she talks a lot about the principle of letting them. It's let them, let people be who they are, let people be wrong, let people make mistakes, let people suffer, struggle if that's the lesson that they want to learn, but don't interfere because we don't want to save everyone because we have ourselves to change. Like Michael Jackson said, start with looking in the mirror and changing yourself. What's the song like? Man in the mirror, okay? So in other words, focus on something else, shift your attention and try to rewire your brain through consistent work, daily work, and that will lead to building new habits, which is kind of what everyone said. Because if we don't work towards it on a daily basis, then things don't just come. They don't appear, nothing's gonna change. If we don't come to Kadampa, if we don't love each other, if we don't share compassion and gratitude, it's not going to show up. So we have to implement, not just talk. I love the idea of how we see things while others can see things the way we see them because we are per se healthy and we have a house, we have food, but there's a lot of people suffering. And so this led to another Madame Secretary was it the example that I loved, that when you look at some people and you go, my God, they have so much to do on a daily basis, or a surgeon that operates on my child for 7 hours on a brain surgery. And there I am complaining about how, I don't know, right? Like someone just cut me off, like, or whatever at a stop sign. That really puts things in perspective on a day-to-day basis. So thinking exactly like, what do they have in their lives? Why are they so pissed? Why are they driving like that? Maybe there's something happening. So before judging, think, is that like I gave birth, my husband was driving like crazy, my water broke, right? Like probably people didn't know what was happening in my car, right? Or someone's having a heart attack. So we judge without even knowing why we judge. And then lastly, compassion and gratitude, which for me personally, it's sometimes gratitude. This is the hardest thing to do for the smallest things. So I have to recognize that like that bread that's in front of me, the fork, the food, the husband, the children that are healthy are things that I may lose in the next hour. And I have to work every single day. And I think that's the leitmotif for us, working on purpose pragmatically to get where we want to get and start with ourselves. And oh yeah, and really cool pragmatic things such as a necklace, like having a necklace or having a sticky notes and keys or something. Yeah, that was a really cool thing. He knows someone that every time he gets outside of the home, looks at the keys and just breathes. So it's being in that moment, a reminder, I'm leaving the house, I'm getting these keys, I'm breathing deeply. Maybe I'm counting, breathing out. I know I've been coming here for like 12 years now. And there were many times when we did with Geshe breathing exercises, left nostril, left, or, at 8 seconds, breathe in, breathe out. But you take the keys and they have a meaning. That necklace has a meaning, something to remind you in that specific moment that the world doesn't end, that you need to let people be themselves and that everything's going to be fine. And the question that I do, especially in my practice, is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? If it's not going to kill me, that means that I'm going to survive and everything's going to be fine.
Thank you very much.
I think the only thing we could add is we talked a lot about anguish within our own minds caused by thinking that everyone should have the same opinion we do, or like Andre was saying, he likes Brooks Brothers shoes and other what? Or other people might say, oh, Adidas is the only brand, you're making a big mistake there. Well, so the question is, why on earth are you troubling yourself with thoughts like that when maybe you should be saying, well, that Andre picked Brooks Brothers, maybe there's something good about them. I never thought there was, but I better ask him, you know? So there's reasons why you could change your attitude around and just recognize that people have all these opinions and we're surrounded by them with so much media, but really it's other people's opinions. And of course, you've got yours and they've got theirs. And why be too concerned about it? Why create a lot of anguish in yourself?
Great. Something else?
Something else our group talked about, Sandy mentioned, which I thought was really a unique idea that I hadn't heard, was that everybody deserves respect. She said, trust is earned, but everybody deserves respect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Do we have something?
Also, we talked about everything has to begin with equanimity, you know. We got to start that before we can have compassion for someone. We have to be able to see, well, what is it that we share in common, right? If we start with differences, we're never going to have compassion. So, and one of the things that I know, and I mentioned this in the group, and that is that I think I did, maybe I didn't, I'm not sure, but at any rate, that wherever I go and I meet a person for the first time, I think there's two things I know about you already that's the same as me. I want to be happy, don't want to suffer. You want to be happy, don't want to suffer. Already that puts us on the same footing, right? And then if I can think about that and also realize we also talked about how when that when people are being angry or lashing out or whatever, they're doing this out of hurt, right? Archbishop Tutu said in one of his books, Forgiveness, is that hurt people hurt people. We forget that. How many times have we lashed out because we were hurt, right? We forget that. And so we have to begin there. One of the things that I thought was so wonderful, she was talking about your country's Taiwan. Yeah. You want to tell that story? Yeah, it's so wonderful.
So I grew up in Taiwan, and I remember in the childhood, like when every Tuesday evening, everybody would take their trash out to like a certain spot in the community, and the truck and the people who collect trash will come by, and then all the neighbors and like my mom, my grandparents, neighbors will bow to them. Like that's how we say thank you, or we wave to them and we bow to them just to show gratitude and like respect. Like, earlier I was mentioning to the group that the way how I grew up, and this is deeply instilled into my system, that respect, you don't need to like someone to respect them. Like respect is given. It's almost like a human right, like it's given. Trust is earned. You don't easily trust just anyone, but respect is given. So when you genuinely just respect another life, another human being, another person, you wouldn't you wouldn't want to do anything to hurt them, or you wouldn't want to force them to be exactly like you. So like, I just felt like that's such a simple, I don't know, maybe I've taken that for granted. So that's how I grew up.
Thank you. We don't have very much time. Oh,
We
yes,
have a-
on
yeah.
those online.
So our folks online, would anyone like to share what you all discussed? Do you have a spokesperson? Anyone? Oh, Peter,
Well,
go.
well, not really, but I guess I'll speak up. Just to add another flavor to what we've discussed so far. One suggestion is not to take yourself too seriously, because I think when you take yourself seriously, then you take your opinion as you're right and they're wrong. And that's where a lot of the divide starts. So if you don't take yourself so seriously and hold your opinions as solid, fixed things, and as some of the other people were mentioning, be more fluid and be more flexible. So that was one suggestion we had.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so there's not very much time, so I'm going to skip one discussion and go to the last one. And it's about rejoicing, because it seems like whenever bad things happen to you or you do something, that was negative or unskillful, then that seems to get stuck, in this feeling of self, of who you are, or whatever. It's hard to let go of that. So and then we don't give us credit. We don't really dwell on the things that we do positively. We just say, well, that's great, then let it go. So what we need to do is to really let that saturate in our minds, all the wonderful things that you've done. And so now in rejoicing, I found a quote that I think Geshe-la is referring to when he says Lhamo Tsongkhapa talks about rejoicing. It's in Destiny Fulfilled, stanza 2. To gather a great store of merit and wisdom with little effort, rejoicing in virtue is praised as best, particularly regarding the past virtues collected by oneself. If you develop without pride great joy in your virtues of the past, it is said that these past virtues will increase even more. Okay, so now in this rejoicing one, so please share the things that you rejoice in that happen, that you've done in your daily life, or a significant event that happened to you in your life. And again, please make sure that everyone has a chance to say something. And this time it's going to be short because you've taken a lot of time. We want to share too. So just give everyone about a minute. So first, let's just sit here and think. Let's just brainstorm in our own mind before we go into our group, okay? What do you think about rejoicing in your life, or something that happened to you that made you really rejoice? Okay, if you go into your groups, this time I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So it might be just 1 minute per person, so 11:50.
So I went up. She's like, yes, I have so many. Like, she had like really bad jumped over and she had like a pain. I was like, no. So I was like grabbing your stuff and I couldn't find the door. Actually, like all the way to the end, and I was like, that's totally fine. Like I feel like I sold out like to ask. Yeah, exactly. So I like I'm so bad at this, and then I rushed over and I had a fire bed and I worked for it, so I put my feet. In May, where she said, "Do you work?" I said, "Yeah." So for help and put it inside. Okay, bye. And I had a school group with me this morning. So she's part of the school team. And I said, yeah, and she was like, I don't know. It's like, yeah. Like, what's giving like, no, it's like, I'm here.
I don't know, like, I love these like last night, and I like woke up like sunshine. I was like, I don't know, I just sit there, she's like, how cute. Like, cute. Yeah, it's really obvious, like, like, so that's. They want to get stores there. Invest my money. Or if I get. Yeah, it's like more than like if it happens, you know, like wearing it from someone else, you know, maybe like And how long does that last? Wow. I know it's not. So there's. Anyways, yeah. And how did this all
Yeah, and getting those doctors all supposed to do, and now we can do. I think that's what we're now.
Almost.
No.
15 seconds.
So wrap it up. We are almost out of time.
What? Oh.
All right, so this time we're going to go in the reverse order. So our group on Zoom can share out first. So share some of your rejoicing moments.
Well, we discussed how rejoicing and gratitude really go hand in hand, I guess, and sometimes we sort of blend the two together. People were rejoicing over having gone through a traumatic time, but still able to keep a peaceful mind and to move forward. And others, small events. I guess that's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Peter, and your group.
Sure.
Okay, we first started talking about something that I said in the previous discussion, being able to listen without judgment. And I am that person in my family that everyone turns to because I listen without judgment. And I rejoice in that because people have a safe place to land when they're going through something. Then we kind of went down a rabbit hole and talked about attachment and connection. Like, how do we is a healthy attachment called a connection? Because we talked about our pets and how we are attached to them and we rejoice in being attached to them. But is that a connection or is that an attachment? And we kind of stopped at that point. And we're all kind of thinking about where we feel, how we feel about that. And I guess we're going to get back together another time and further the discussion. Okay.
So I felt like becoming a Buddhist, finding Buddha Dharma over many years has been of great benefit. I rejoice in that. Quite frequently, I think of that, about my friends here and about Buddhist teachings and how gradually my mind has been changed and it's made me, made life better.
So for groups, let's we only have like 7 minutes, y'all. So pick something.
I think we just, in general, talked about our individual personal experiences that we have found for little rejoicing moments as well as big grateful moments that we went through the suffering, enabled to have the rejoicing moments. So it's kind of hand in hand, right? We have to suffer a little bit to reap the benefit of the rejoicing. So, yeah, duality, non-duality.
Our group talked about gratitude also, the practice of just thinking at the end of the day of things you have to be grateful for. A lot of people brought up experiences with their family, particularly children and grandchildren, as things that gave them a real sense of rejoicing. What else? Let's see. We did, some people mentioned Kadampa Center, having Kadampa Center here. They rejoiced in that. And we talked a little bit, we didn't really make a decision, but about the difference between just happiness and rejoicing and what's the difference. And that's a topic for further exploration, I think.
Hi. I grew up an only child with divorced parents, and I just graduated college and moved here in with my aunt and uncle and 2 cousins. And so, like, every day it's been kind of like, oh, this is what I always wanted. Like, it's kind of like I have siblings and like a whole family. So that's been really nice. And also, Florida doesn't have seasons. I've been enjoying like the fall foliage. It's like every day I'm like, oh my God, this is everything I've always wanted. So that's it.
So
we all discussed everything that we were rejoicing, and then we did a little reflection and realized that the things that we are rejoicing now as older people with wisdom is a lot different than what we would rejoice when we were younger. So when you're younger, it's more about the material things, knocking off the stuff on the chart that society deems is what you're supposed to do: get a house, get a car, get all that kind of stuff. And now we are rejoicing on experiences and things that make us happy and make us better people for ourselves and for our loved ones around us.
Okay, I'll keep this really short. Okay. So, rejoicing in the opportunities of little kindnesses, seeing people that you love, and rejoicing in those little moments, rejoicing in the joy and sharing joy, and rejoicing in those small moments, rejoicing in the joy of others. So somebody that you love going on a trip or something like that, but recognizing that person is feeling joy, I'm going to feel joy for that person and rejoicing in that. Rejoicing in the effects of kindness. So, you know, having a direct experience of I helped this person, and then this person comes back to you and they're like, "You helped me." Yeah. Those types of experiences. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. And I believe that the sharing is sort of like the practice of generosity, because, you know, you're giving something of yourself, maybe something that you haven't shared previously. But, you know, you're not just sharing it with one person, you're sharing with the entire group, and even on YouTube. So I think that it's really, I really think that is a great merit that you have created today. Because you are sharing, you know, some of the wisdom that you've accumulated through the years, through the teachings, through the Buddha Dharma, and so forth. So I am also extremely grateful and that you have been, that you're part of my life, and that you've come and you stayed, even though you knew I wasn't Geshe-la, and that you were very good about, very welcoming about sharing with the group and to the entire Kadampa. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you,
we'll
Lhamo.
start. Yeah, thank you. Everyone gets. So this time I'm gonna remember to share.
Actually, should we do announcements first and then
Okay, sure.
dedications? Okay. So I know I at least have an announcement. Anyone else, Coco? Okay. Anyone else have announcements? Elise does too. Okay. Oh, and the Monica. Oh, we got a lot of announcements. Okay. So we'll start with spiritual programs. So I just want to bring it to your attention that one of the 4 great holy days, it's called Lhamo Duchen, is coming up on Tuesday, November 11th, which is also Veterans Day. So if you have that day off, come join Geshe-la here in the Kadampa from 10:30 till noon. He will be leading us in practices that he has chosen to share with us for that particular day. And Lhamo Duchen, being again one of the 4 holy days, a Buddha holy day, is when we celebrate the Buddha's descent from a celestial realm. It's called the God realm of the 33. And like other Buddha days, it's a merit multiplying day. So all of our positive, good positive karmic actions of our body, speech, and mind are multiplied 100 million times. So it's a great day to really watch your mind and do positive things and do Dharma practice. So again, that's Tuesday, November 11th at 10:30 here in the Kadampa. And it's going to be online as well for those of you who join online. And then on Saturday, November 15th from 10 to 11, we have our monthly Tara practice, and it's online. We'll be reciting praises to the 21 Taras. And according to Geshe Gelik and Geshe Sangpo's teacher, Khensa Rinpoche, who many of you know, he's pictured in that picture there, he has said that Kadampa Center has a very special connection to Tara. And over on this side of the altar, we have all 21 emanations of Tara. So come join us online for that on Saturday, November 15th from 10 to 11. And then the last thing I want to mention is that our Wednesday night Lam Rim class is on hold right now. It's on break. So we will have 2 Lam Rim classes in December, and that'll be December 10th and 17th. And then our normal schedule will start back up in January. So if you have any questions or want to make sure that classes are happening, always go to our website, kadampa-center.org. And then up in the upper right corner is the calendar. So you can always double check the calendar. I try to keep that as accurate as possible. All right, who's next? Coco.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. So we have one more week left for our canned food, non-perishable items collections. We know what's been going on with the news, with the SNAP benefits and all that. So if you just dig back in that pantry and find one more extra can, that'd be great. It takes 3 to 4 cans to feed a family of 4 for one meal. So that's all we need. And then that will be the end of that next Sunday. And then our next drive, which will take place in December, so I'll give you a couple of weeks to save up some more money. We are actually going to do a baby drive. So we're going to do diapers and wipes. So just to give you a heads up, diapers and wipes are not covered on WIC. It's only food products. And diapers are very expensive. And at convenience stores that are located near low-income neighborhoods, if they even sell baby products, they hike the price up really high. So it's unaffordable. So I work with the North Carolina diaper something, and they take in collections, and then they go to these neighborhoods and they hand out free diapers, free wipes, incontinence products, like all kinds of stuff. So our next one, we're going to focus on some diapers and wipes. So go ahead and get that in your head and start making your diaper list.
You got it? Hi there, I'm Monica. I just want to say that we must have some amazing karma all around the building because the new vegetable garden that we planted is just going crazy. So I have picked some leaf lettuce, and it's out there in the front, and some curly parsley and some rosemary. So please take some of that. Thank you.
And speaking of food, soon we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving, and you might be saying, I'd really want to add more plant-based recipes to my Thanksgiving, and how can I do that? Well, this coming Saturday at 4:30, we're having a class on how to prepare 3 plant-based dishes for Thanksgiving, each with 3 ingredients. So it's very simple and nutritious, where the 2 of them can be a main meal or a side, and the 3rd is a dessert. So there's a sign up on the This Week or on the website. Thank you.
Okay, so let's, all right, we'll do the dedication verses from Shanti Deva. Just flip to the blue tab, page 246 in the Gold Prayer Book. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of our merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with the mind down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. The poor find wealth. Those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may these never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. On page 244, the long life prayer for His Holiness. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. And then the bottom of 245, the long life prayer for Khensa Rinpoche Jetsun Losang Dalek, the one who mastered speech at a very young age, the one with great patience who received the name Avatare, the one with great precision who spread the teachings of Lhamo Tsongkhapa on bliss and void, Lama ornament of the yellow hat tradition, please remain until samsara ends. And then the inside back cover, a prayer for the swift return of Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of victorious ones, Ravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of the infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of teaching this here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice. You are the arm of patience that is never discouraged, incomparable venerable Guru, to you I make request. Striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for mother living beings, you suddenly depart to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. And then on the inside front cover, the long life prayer for Geshe-la. Supreme God, you lead us on the many paths of virtue. A shining sun, you give us the best of excellent explanations. Supreme virtuous friend, you are a constant Dharma companion. Lama, who is announced fame, may you ever remain. And then for Geshe-sampo, you have steadfast imprints of virtuous qualities, and keep the instructions of the glorious Guru in your heart. You pass day and night with noble activities. Great virtuous friend, may you have a very long life. And then Samatara mantras. Om Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you have time to talk after the teachings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable Lhamo.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone online. Thanks everyone in the Kadampa.
Thanks, Venerable Lhamo. Thanks, Linda.